Legal name is Sean Gentry, but my YouTube name is Genghis Sean because I originally made it as my rap name in high school and I thought it was hard. And then I started making nerdy D&D videos and I just kept it because I thought it was funny.
Mine's gone too far, foobar. Only Xavier ever really knew it. You see a mask and I savor the confusion. Go through grams like campfire marshmallows. Too mellow to focus, now I'm useless.
What are my videos typically about and who are they targeted for? Well, they're about the lore of the Dungeons & Dragons universe, and they are targeted toward, anyone who's interested in that. I guess it would be particularly dungeon masters, people who are running their own D&D games so that they can use this lore in their games. But anyone who's any sort of writer or world builder could benefit from it. I just think it's important to get as many ideas about a topic in your head as possible, and then allow those to sort of inspire you yourself, whether you want to use those ideas verbatim in your own home games, or you just want to find an idea or something you found interesting to then inspire you to come up with your own thing that's similar to it. D&D has a lot of lore and a lot of it's contradictory, so I think it's important as a DM to sort of look at all the different variations and find one that works for you that you like.
Greyhawk is a setting. Mystara, Dragonlance, Eberron, those are all settings. But Faerun is a location in the Forgotten Realms, but it's not the name of the setting. So I don't know why they didn't put Forgotten Realms there instead of Faerun. These guys don't know their
Who inspires me? The person who inspires me in real life is Ed Greenwood. He is the creator of the Forgotten Realms campaign setting. It's just one of the worlds that Dungeons & Dragons takes place in. It's kind of like the main world that I'm the most into. And he is a really cool guy. He is very passionate about his world. He will answer people's questions online completely for free, and he will come up with like a unique, interesting idea to give this person just because he wants them to be able to, run games the way they want. Why did I start making content? And specifically, why did I start doing D&D content? It started because I had a question about D&D lore. I was wondering what exactly happened to a soul that gets damned to the 9 hells and what that process is like. So then I started, Googling it and like finding Reddit threads and stuff. And I found some answers, but they were kind of vague and they kind of contradicted each other and it confused me further. So then I went straight to the source and I started finding old D&D books from 1st edition, from 2nd edition, like some of these are from like the 80s or 70s. And I started looking into it and I realized that it was different between the editions. And I started, writing down the differences and investigating how each edition and each book handled it. And then at this point, I'm just basically writing a research paper and I'm putting a lot of work into this. And I figured, well, if I'm going to put all this work into it, I might as well make something out of it. So it's not just for my benefit. Hello, this is Genghis Sean, and I want to introduce a series I am doing called Dungeons & Dragons Lore Through the Editions. D&D lore is something very close to my heart, and I love learning as much as I can to use it in my games. However, sometimes I have problems where the lore is inconsistent because throughout different editions, they change the lore. Sometimes they change the lore within an edition, which is even more confusing. And there's a lot of differences. Some of it can be reconciled through actually history of the world. When they introduce a new edition and they introduce new lore, they will give an in-world explanation as to why this changed. What is the importance of learning the lore from all the editions of D&D? So 5th edition tends to keep lore pretty concise and pretty short. Now, 5th edition's main goal was getting new players into the game, and it does a fantastic job at that. If you don't know anything about D&D, you don't want someone to hand you a 20-page book about one country just to know about your character's backstory or something like that, because that's just a lot to expect from someone, even someone who's a veteran at the game. So 5th edition, you can read like a couple sentences or a paragraph about a specific creature or about a specific country, and you kind of get the gist of that character. And that's perfectly fine, and it serves its purpose well. However, if you're a dungeon master and you want to be running your own world, you're going to want there to be a good amount of detail and lore to your world in order to make it feel fleshed out and to make it feel lived in, because you want to immerse your players. And if all you have is one paragraph about an entire civilization or an entire race of creatures, that's not very helpful, in my opinion. So being able to go back and look at these books from, you know, 2nd edition or 3rd edition, where they have, you know, entire books dedicated to one region of a continent, or just like a handful of countries, or an entire book just about mind flayers or just about beholders, is really, really useful. And you're not gonna memorize all that information because that's ridiculous, and you might not even like all of it, but there's detail there. So there's probably gonna be something you do like that then you can use in your games, and you can disregard the rest, but it's there for you to use. Now, a lot of people run their own homebrew worlds. You know, they don't run in the Forgotten Realms or any sort of existing D&D setting. It's their world, and they make up all the lore themselves, so they don't need the D&D lore. They can ignore it. They're just gonna use their own. And you can do that, but like, you know, Frank Herbert or Brandon Sanderson, like, they didn't get good at writing fantasy or writing novels by not reading other people's works. You don't get good at directing movies without watching movies. So it's like, if you wanna make your own lore, that's fine, but you should be taking in other people's lore in order to inspire you and give you ideas. Now, maybe you're the type of person who reads a lot of fantasy novels or what have you, and so you're already getting that lore in from other sources, and that's fine, but you're not gonna find mind flayers or beholders or, you know, specifically the like color-coded dragons in other stuff. Those are very specific to D&D, so if you're gonna be running one of those, it's gonna be a lot more helpful to sort of get some lore on those first. And once again, you don't have to like it, you don't have to use any of it, but I think it's good to just get the ideas in your head so that you can be coming up with your own versions.
I like Spelljammer. I think it's a very different vibe from the rest of the setting, but I do like Spelljammer, and I think it has a place. And I think it's cool that like all of these other settings can like exist together, and you can have people from different worlds interacting. I like the old Spelljammer lore a lot, with the phlogiston and the crystal spheres. It's really interesting, and it's based off real beliefs scientists used to actually have a couple centuries ago, which I think is super interesting. They kind of watered it down.
What would I say to someone who wants to get into Dungeons and Dragons? I would say, just do it. That's kind of bad advice, but like, don't like wait around. Like, if you want to play, you should play. You should try and convince your friends or your family to play. And if you just really, really can't get them to play, you can always like go online and find some sort of like LFG, or even go to like a local game store and see if there's any people looking to start games up. Even if you don't think you're a creative person, I think a lot more people will enjoy D&D than you might realize. And if you're thinking about it, you should try it out, because you'll probably have fun. If you try and get your friends together and none of them want to be the dungeon master because it seems like a lot of work, or they don't know the rules, then like, and you want to play, then you should just step up and do it, because otherwise you won't get to play. And being a dungeon master is not as scary as it sounds. You don't need to have all the rules memorized. You don't need to have the entire world memorized. You don't need to make 60 lore videos on YouTube to do it. You can just do it and take it, you know, one piece at a time.
I don't have an addiction. I have liquid income, and it's fun. But it's fun. Yeah, I do.
Ooh, what's not to like? Incredibly creative, incredibly smart. We always have the best conversations when we're with each other.
You just like cast a little spell.
Yep.
Real quick, and
I gotta put on my charisma.
your
juice.
voice just sounds sexier.
Sean's a sweet person. He's a good kid, and he's a good person, and he's a good family person. Like, he gets along with all of his brothers, his nieces. He's always been the type of kid that likes his family around. And those are just a few of the things. But in my eyes, you know, Sean's perfect. He's the baby of the family. So that's my Sean.
Super outgoing dude. He's a ride or die. He's always down to hang with the friends. He's a good hang, but he's a truly, genuinely good friend. He's always there for you if you need to talk about something. So I've always kind of cherished him, especially as I've gotten to know him more and more, as just a person I can always rely on. And if I need a gaming buddy, he'll be there, or if he just needs to like chill out and vibe, he's there. So really appreciate him for that.
Very smart and sweet young man. And we've appreciated how much he'd get up and make his bed and keep his room clean and dust his shelves and just kept everything neat and orderly. Always made good grades in school, got his work done. And, we loved everything about Sean growing up and being a part of our family.
And that is everything Aiden could find on Genghis Sean. I hope you enjoyed this documentary, and remember to subscribe for more... Oh, wait, this isn't one of my videos. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and there's one more thing I want to say. What do I think I've learned from this experience? Well, I think I've learned just how much my friends and family appreciate me. Not that I didn't think they appreciated me before, but hearing them talk in their interviews about me was very like comforting to know how much they care about me, because normally I'm not hearing how my friends and family talk about me to other people, because normally when I hear them talk, I'm with them and they're talking to me. So it was just very interesting to see that. And then also, normally when I'm hanging out with my friends, you know, I'm used to it and I kind of take it for granted. But when we were filming this documentary, I was kind of having to look at everything from an outside perspective. And I sort of came to realize just how good I have it, because my friends and I get along so well, and we always laugh a lot when we're around each other, and we always have so much fun when we play D&D or really just spend time in general. And so I realized just like how good I have it, and I've sort of learned to appreciate that more.